What do you do when the people who taught you about God become the reason you struggle to believe?
Quiet Community Arts Center on a Saturday morning. Cynthia sits alone at a wooden table near a window, her sketchbook closed in front of her. Soft light falls across her hands. She traces her finger along the edge of the sketchbook.
I used to think faith was something you received, like a gift handed down from someone who understood it better than you. I trusted that. I built something on that trust. And when it cracked, I wasn't sure what was left underneath.
3 months earlier. A small gathering room attached to a community chapel. Cynthia stands near the back, watching a group disperse after a teaching circle.
Pastor Daniel, that was beautiful. What you said about the Creator seeing us as whole, even when we feel broken. It meant something to me.
Thank you, Cynthia. I'm glad it reached you.
She lingers as others leave. Through the doorway, she overhears Pastor Daniel speaking to another leader.
I don't have time for her questions every week. She's looking for something I can't give her. Just smile and move on.
Cynthia's expression shifts, something quiet dimming behind her eyes.
He didn't see me.
She slips out the side door without saying goodbye. Weeks pass. Cynthia's apartment. She sits on the floor near a window, her sketchbook open but untouched.
I still feel it. That pull toward something larger than myself. That ache for meaning. But every time I try to go back, I hear his voice. Not the teaching voice. The other one. The tired one. It wasn't one big moment. It was small things. Little moments that didn't match what I thought I saw. Like finding a crack in something beautiful. And suddenly, that's all you can see.
She looks at a small cross on her windowsill.
Maybe I made it all up. Maybe I was just borrowing someone else's certainty and calling it my own.
She closes the sketchbook and sets it aside. A different chapel across town. Cynthia sits in a pew during a service, surrounded by unfamiliar faces.
This should feel like something. The music is beautiful. The words are the same words I used to love.
She watches the congregation lift their hands in praise.
But it's like watching a play I used to be in. I remember the lines. I remember where to stand. But I can't find my entrance anymore.
She leaves before the service ends, stepping into the cool morning air.
I thought if I found the right place, the right teacher, the right structure, it would come back. But it's not there. Or maybe I'm not.
The Community Arts Center. Cynthia sits at her usual table near the window. Her sketchbook is open for the first time in weeks. Across the room, an older woman named Margaret arranges supplies on a shelf. Her movements are unhurried, deliberate.
I wasn't planning to draw. I was just going to sit. But something about her hands caught me.
She begins sketching Margaret's profile. The pencil moves slowly, tracing the soft lines around the woman's eyes, the way her gray hair falls across her forehead.
She's not a teacher. She's not a leader. She doesn't know any more about God than I do, probably. But there's something in her face that feels like it belongs there. Something quiet. Something real.
Margaret notices Cynthia watching and smiles gently before returning to her work.
I felt it then. Just for a second. That old pull. Not toward her. Through her.
Later that morning, Sally, a woman in her 50s with calm eyes and weathered hands, sits across from Cynthia at the same table. She is a regular at the art center, known for her quiet presence.
You've been coming here more often lately.
It's quieter than other places.
Quieter than what?
Than churches. Than anywhere that expects me to feel something I can't reach anymore.
What happened?
Someone I trusted turned out to be less than I thought. And I know that sounds small. He didn't do anything terrible. He just stopped being what I needed him to be. And now I can't seem to find my way back.
Back to him?
Back to any of it. To God, to faith, to whatever it was I thought I had.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
When you trusted him, were you trusting him or what he was pointing to?
Cynthia pauses. Her fingers rest on the edge of her sketchbook.
I don't know anymore.
That's an honest answer.
But how can I separate them? He was the one teaching me. He was the one showing me what to believe. If he wasn't what I thought, then how do I know any of it was real?
Were you trusting him or what he was pointing to? A person can show you the moon, but you don't fall in love with their finger. The finger might shake, it might be imperfect, but the moon is still the moon. Maybe what you were reaching for was never his to give.
Cynthia turns the pages of her sketchbook, stopping at the drawing of Margaret.
I drew her because something in her face felt true. Not because she's wise or holy or even particularly spiritual. Just because she was there, being herself, and it moved something in me.
What do you think that was?
I don't know, a reflection, maybe, of something I used to believe was only in certain people.
There's an old teaching, Genesis 1:27. God created mankind in his own image. Not just the teachers, not just the leaders, everyone.
I've heard that verse 100 times.
Hearing it and seeing it are different things.
But if that's true, if God's image is in everyone, then why did I need Pastor Daniel so much? Why did I put so much weight on him?
Because it's easier to trust a reflection you can see, a voice you can hear. It's harder to trust the one inside you.
But how do I know it's real? How do I know I'm not just making it up?
Did you make up what you felt when you drew that woman's face?
Cynthia looks at the drawing again. Her breath slows.
No. That was real.
Then maybe you're closer than you think.
A few days later, Cynthia stands outside the original chapel, watching through the window as a small group gathers inside.
I thought about going back. Not because I missed him, but because I missed belonging somewhere. Having someone tell me I was on the right path.
She sees Pastor Daniel greeting people near the entrance. He laughs at something someone says, his warmth visible even from a distance.
Part of me still wants that. Wants someone to say, "Yes, Cynthia, you're doing it right. You're seen. You're enough."
She turns away from the window and closes her eyes. The wind moves through her hair.
But no one can give me that. Not really. Not in the way I was asking for. Because what I was looking for wasn't permission. It was presence. And presence isn't something you borrow. It's something you notice. Something that was already there.
She opens her eyes. A soft exhale.
As Luke reminds us, the kingdom of God is within you. I used to think that was poetry, but maybe it's just geography. Maybe it's just the truth about where to look.
The Community Arts Center again. Evening light falls through the window. Cynthia sits alone with her sketchbook open. She is drawing her own reflection in the glass.
I'm not angry at him anymore. At Pastor Daniel. He was never supposed to be the source. He was just a mirror, a flawed one, like all of us.
She adds soft shading around the eyes.
And mirrors can be helpful. They can show us where to look, but they can't hold the light. They can only reflect it. The light comes from somewhere else, somewhere that doesn't depend on perfection, somewhere that was always present, inside me, inside you, inside everyone who carries the image of something greater, whether they know it or not.
She sets down her pencil and looks at the drawing. Her own face stares back, imperfect and real.
What you've been searching for was never owned by anyone else.
And as the light gently fades across the sill, she begins to see. God was never the one who let her down.
The truth that even when people fail you, God does not.
And this is the pearl. Sometimes faith isn't lost. Sometimes it's simply buried beneath disappointment. The people who guide us can point the way, but they were never meant to become the destination. A faith that survives disappointment is not a faith that was broken. It is a faith that has finally learned where to stand. And if this reflection stirred something in you, join me next time for another Illumined Pearl. Because sometimes the greatest distance isn't between us and God. It's between what we say we believe and how we choose to live. I'll see you in the next pearl.